Hello and welcome. Today I wanted to shoot a quick video about another saber from Kybers Sabers, which is an Amazon seller. Recently I shot a video about this one over here, which is the Kybers Baisic Saber. I'll go ahead and link that in the description. Today I wanted to talk about another option that they had that I just discovered. It wasn't an option when I found this, but I was informed about this. This is the Kybers Shii Cho. Now, from a basic standpoint, you may notice that these things look almost identical. As a matter of fact, they even connect to each other with a coupler. I'm going to be talking about this coupler in just a little bit, and I'll include that in the video. But the design on the Shii Cho is exactly the same as the design on the Kybers Baisic series. And let me go ahead and unscrew this from the coupler real quick, and I'll show them to you close up, side by side. So, as you can see, the Baisic and the Shii Cho are identical hilt designs. So let me talk a little bit about how they differ. The features on each one of these sabers is also more or less the same. When I did the review on the Kybers Baisic series, I showed you the idea that it's got a mute feature and 3 sound fonts. In order to turn anything on or off, you have to hold down the button and it will pulse. Let me go ahead and turn the sound on. Alright, so we've got a white activation switch, we've got RGB on this, we had different types of flash, and then to turn it off we had to wait 5 seconds for 5 of those pulses in order to get the saber to turn off. Now, the Shii Cho has all of the same features. It has the different light pulses or the different light strobes. It has the levels of brightness. It has 3 sound fonts. It has a mute. The only thing that it doesn't have is the red, green, blue, the color change. Shii Cho sabers are what they are. They're whatever color you get them in. I've been informed that they're actually only offered in red and blue, as far as I'm concerned, or as far as I've been able to hear. So you get very few options for the color of the LED, either red or blue, pretty standard colors. But otherwise, it has all of the same features. The other thing that's different about the Shii Cho from the Baisic series is the activation button itself. Let me go ahead and take this one off mute. Alright, so this one has all the same pulses and everything, but only a single color. And you notice that the activation color, as opposed to being white, which it is on the color-changing Baisic model, on the Shii Cho, the activation button matches the color of the saber. So for the blue ones it's blue, for the red ones it's red. The other thing about these is that the Baisic models came with a few different options for the finish of the saber itself. There was a black, this is a gunmetal. For the Shii Cho versions, there are only 2 options for the finish, and they're tied into the LED colors. There's a silver and blue, and there's a red and black. But otherwise, the hilt design is exactly the same. The features are exactly the same. It's got a recharge port here. They come with this optional grip. The pommels and the emitters unscrew. It's got 2 blade retention screws here, so they're actually fairly durable or for holding up for light sparring. Again, it's mid-grade 7/8 inch blades, so you don't want to baseball swing anything with this, but pretty durable, pretty well balanced, but fewer options in terms of colors. Now, the payoff or the trade-off for this is that the Shii Cho is about $20 to $30 less. They're about 80 bucks, and again, they still come with the Prime shipping, so they're really quick to get, and you don't have to worry about a hidden shipping charge. It just is what it is. Now, that puts this pretty much exactly the same price as a Pock Store Tiny Giant. So a few more features, slightly different design, but right in the same ballpark as that Pock Store Tiny Giant. But again, the features I think kind of set this one apart. The interesting thing about the Shii Cho and the Baisic series, as I said, since they're the same hilt, you can actually combine them with the coupler that Upstone and Kybers sells on Amazon. Interesting thing about this coupler, it actually screws into the bottom of the pommel. So unlike most, or pretty much every other saber that I have that has a coupler that can connect to other sabers, you don't have to remove the pommel and put the coupler in place of the pommel. The coupler actually screws into the back of the pommel, and it's vented so that you still get your sound coming out of there. Oh, one other thing that I forgot to mention about the Shii Cho model, whereas this one, the flash on clash is white, in this one, the flash on clash is just a flicker of the main blade color, since it's only got the one LED in there. But anyhow, back to the coupler. So the coupler fits rather nicely. It's actually aligned really well, which for other couplers from other companies, I've had problems with it lining up kind of wonky when you put when you put two sabers together and having to use little set rings or shim rings in order to get it to adjust correctly. This one lines up perfect every time. You screw the thing together and the buttons are in line. Let me go ahead and turn that on so you can see the buttons. There we go. Oh, turn that one back on again. There we go. So the buttons are in line. The only bad part about this is since we're dealing with an angled emitter on both of these things, putting the buttons in line as opposed to reversed from each other means that the balance of the saber is a little bit off. So if you're doing things like contact rolls, this is a very light saber and actually really easy to do stuff like that with. The problem is that by lining it up like this, we've got more weight on this side because of the angled emitters than on this side. So if I put blades in it, let me see if I can get it, or let me see if I can show you guys real quick. There we go. So if I put blades in and then I just toss it up in the air and spin it, you're going to see a little bit of wobble here. Alright, now that's because, again, the angled emitters make there be more weight on top than there is on the bottom. So for any roll or any like tosses or anything like that, there's a little bit of wobble to the saber. But by and large, the saber is light enough that it's not really that big of a problem. The coupler, I think, is a little bit overpriced for what it is, but the sabers are so well priced that I think it offsets it. The sabers are about $100 to $110 for the basic and about $80 for the Shii Cho. And again, for the features that you get in that, that's pretty much unheard of in terms of the price point. This tiny little piece of metal with holes drilled in it and threads on either side is $15. Now, a lot of times I'm used to other companies having their couplers for closer to $5 to $10. So this thing in and of itself is a little bit overpriced. Again, the free shipping sort of offsets that. But again, it works with these sabers, and since the sabers are such a generous price point, I didn't mind too much paying the $15 for the coupler. So, Shii Cho model, these I'm told are going to be back up on Amazon soon. As of the posting of this video, they're sold out. But they'll be back up there soon, and the basic model, which you've seen before. Hopefully this video has been of use. If it has, join me back for more, and I'll see you next time.